Hello, my beautiful earth angels. My name is Joanna, Joanna the healer, used to be known as Joanna the medium. This is going to be our weekly pulse for March, the week of March 30th. I don't know about you, but I have no idea where the time has gone. And as I'm saying this, I hear discipline, 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 discipline. This is not the time to waste time on things that are not of importance. I think we know that already. I think we are experiencing life in such a way that you'd have to live under a rock in order not to be affected in various ways by what is going on. And the message I have for the next little while is actually coming from Mother Gaia herself. And for those of you who are sensitive, you will feel this right now because the energy is very strong, it's palatable. And what I feel right now is a mixed bag of emotions. I feel sadness, I feel pain, I feel joy, I feel like I want to scream, I feel like I want to give up, but at the same time, I feel like I want to dance. So there's all these things that I'm feeling, but more than anything, I feel extremely humbled. I feel humbled by the ability to connect with her. And I don't connect with her very often. She appeared to me not that long ago, and she gave me a message, and she is a being of very few words, but profound message behind her words. And as I'm feeling her and I'm speaking or will be speaking for her, I feel like she's right there next to me, has one of her arms across the back of my shoulder, and she's holding me as if to say, "You're okay, you can do this." The message is for me that yes, I can deliver the message without breaking down. But the message is bigger than that. The message is for all of you. Yes, we can all do this. Whatever it is that we are struggling with, whatever it is that is going on in our lives right now, small, big, little, huge, ginormous, we all have the potential to transform whatever it is that is coming up for each and every one of us right now. Part of me feels a heaviness on my heart. And the heaviness primarily comes from the knowing that we, all of us, have contributed to what's going on. And no, absolutely not. This is not a blame. This is not a blame on anybody, but this is taking the accountability for knowing that where we are right now in terms of what we are experiencing globally, we are all in some way, shape, or form responsible for it. Again, please hear me clearly when I state this is not a blame. And I will absolutely take my accountability for my part in stating very emphatically that up until very recently, I did not have the level of awareness that would allow me to appreciate Mother Earth. It just wasn't in my consciousness. It just wasn't something I thought about. It just wasn't something that I pay attention to. And as I became aware, I became to pay more attention, and I realized how important Mother is to each and every single being, human, animal, or otherwise. Without her support, we cannot be here. I heard someone say this the other day. We are visitors here. She's allowing us to stay as guests, and we have been taking advantage of her generosity. but she's like a mother that often gives and gives and gives and gives because she loves her children unconditionally. But there comes a time where the mother runs out of her own resources. She is basically too tired to give. And in order for things to rebalance themselves, some shifts must take place, or some shifts must happen. And we are in the midst of this shift happening. There's a part of me as Joanna that is having a bit of a conversation with the energy of Mother Gaia that says something like this. What we're saying here, are we going to offend some people? And she looks at me, she gives me this loving look in her eyes, as if to say, you are not responsible for how people take it. And I go, oh yeah, okay, I remember. But I am responsible for my intention. And my intention for you, from me, Joanna, who calls herself a healer, is to give you information that comes from higher truth, deeper truth, a greater level of awareness, where we can begin to see things from a different perspective. And as a result of shifting our perspectives, we not only change, but we begin to heal. And when we begin to heal within ourselves, we begin the process of helping her heal as well. And unfortunately, we had to be shaken out of our comfort zone. So, when I asked her yesterday, what do you need from us? I said, how can we help you? And she said to me, just be yourself. And I understood what she meant. She does not say many words. A woman or a being of very few words. But those very few words speak volume. And it's in her tone, it's in her energy, and some of you will feel this, some of you have felt this. Every single one of you can communicate with her. When she first came to me, I was a little bit taken aback because I wasn't expecting it, and right away I thought it's in my head. But then it happened several more times, and I realized I'm not manufacturing this feeling. This feeling is bigger than me, and it comes with her. And the level of love that I am feeling from her, it's almost painful. And it's almost painful because she's giving this love to me, yet I know that she's basically saying, I have nothing more to give. This is what a mother does when she takes care of her children. So it's time we take care of her. Anyway, when she said be yourself, I understood what she meant. She basically said, be the true you. The you that goes beyond your human thinking. The you that is beyond your body. The you that is beyond your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. The you that is greater than the universe itself. That you, that true you, be that you. Which is the you without your limitations. And limitations are density, or limitations are dense. These are lower vibrating frequency that keep us down. So in order for us to be ourselves, which is love, we all come from space of love. And it's very much the unconditional love that she is allowing me to feel, although the level of that love that I'm feeling is maybe 25% because it would blow up my physical body. So the message is, be yourself. Be the love that you came here to be. Be the being that shines the light for others to see, to guide them to their own purpose. Your purpose is to shine. And when you shine, it affects everything. When we are being love, we take care of ourselves and everything that's connected to us. It doesn't mean we don't get angry. It doesn't mean we don't feel bad. It just simply means we come from the place of love instead of place of scarcity or fear-based thinking. So what can we do to help her? We can come closer to expressing us for who we truly are. You are not your limitation. You are not your feeling. You are not your body. Those are all conditions you have created for yourself as a soul in order to have a certain experience. And it is an extraordinary experience that you are having. I do not mean to imply that those who are negatively affected by illness or death are reasons for us to have a party. Of course not. I would be ignorant and arrogant to say that. But what I will say is this. Let's not let these people who are leaving this planet, let's not let their lives or deaths be in vain. Let's take care of each other better. After all, it seems that unless there is death or something severe like that, we pay little attention. And the reason why this is so difficult right now, because of the level of how it affects in terms of death. So we're in a really important time right now. Responsibility to yourself and to your animals. She said, be responsible for yourself and for your animals. And when she said your animals, I really took a note of that, because she basically said, they're yours. And if they're yours, why are you not taking better care of them? Whether it's an animal, whether it's a tree, whether it's a friendly neighbor, whatever it is, we have responsibility to ourselves, but we also have a responsibility to everything that is around us, including our animals. How we treat animals, how we treat our guests, how we treat our enemies. Always remember this. When you come from a space of love, that space is very healing. Therefore, everything you touch begins to heal. Because what is love? Love is balance. Love is peace. Love is understanding, which, by the way, it's one of the cards we have. Love is to know that you are loved unconditionally. Love is stability. Love is kindness. Love is awareness. Love is so many things, but more than anything, love is you. It is time to start practicing more us being ourselves, or you being you. If you are if you think of yourself critically, you're not being you. You are being you, conditioned that you are limited. But remember, it's conditioned, it's not real. I'm not suggesting that if you have an illness or disease that's not real. That's not what I'm saying at all. But underneath your disease or your illness, you are a perfect being. That is pure love. We have to remember that, particularly when we're in a space of chaos, because it's easy to go back and turn into chaos and fear. It's like a drug that pulls you in. So what does she want us to know? Fire ant is an interesting energy, because this energy represents too much focus on what is wrong, too much focus on drama, too much focus on fear, too much focus on negativity. And right now, we are in prime time to either be sucked into fear or to mindfully and respectfully shift our focus away from fear. This does not mean we become people who are ignorant to what's going on. That would be irresponsible. This is about choosing to deal with it differently. When we remember that there is a bigger purpose to all of this, we begin to blame less. Blaming does not do anything. Blaming only points you to the original problem, but it doesn't point you away from it. It keeps you there. So if we are focusing on blaming people, we're not getting any closer to focusing on how to get out of this, how to make it better. The achievement is an interesting message, because what it says, it's this. We are all responsible for our own happiness. We're all responsible for ourselves. But we are also successful, and we also achieve with other people's help. In other words, use this time to let's use this time to bring ourselves together versus driving ourselves more apart. And when we blame, we create a scenario of them versus us. And that only points to separation and not unity. Okay? If we thought of Mother Gaia as part of who we are, we would give her more consideration. But because we don't give her value, or many haven't, we don't consider that she's a living being that is essentially like you and I. We end up taking advantage of her. Let's create unity. Let's create communities. And let's use this time, what's going on in a time of chaos, to help one another so that we can achieve something greater. We have to persevere. There is no question about it. Unless you have experienced World War II, some people may be still alive World War I, but I would assume they're not watching this channel. So unless you've experienced World War II or have gone to Iraq or anything of that nature, the regular person will never see anything like this ever again in their lifetime. Most likely you will not. Most likely I will not. There's no question these are difficult times, but we will persevere. And we will persevere mostly because we know we can get through it. It's to have that undeniable, unconditional faith and belief that we will get through it. I'm feeling a lot of pressure right here. It's at the base of my throat. And I'm asking the question what that is. And what I'm getting is that this area is being cleared out, which reminds me what I heard or read something recently that someone said or reported that these energies are clearing a lot of stuff around the heart and the throat, which would be consistent with what I've been feeling. So if you feel things stuck here, incidentally, isn't it interesting that the virus attacks the lungs, which is heart, and then moving up to the throat? Makes perfect sense. It's that's where it's I guess does the damage. So there's an interesting mirror effect going on. Many of us have misplaced our power. What do I mean by that? We have put our power where it doesn't belong, which is outside of us. And we need to now realize that when we do that, we end up living other people's lives, other people's agendas, and other people's paths. And until we realize consciously that we are doing so, we are not likely able to change it. And this is a time that I believe will allow us to do just that, to realize certain things, to realize that we have misplaced a lot of our power, a lot of our focus to places where it doesn't belong. This card, I'm pretty sure, appeared last week. As a matter of fact, I remember some of you commenting that, I forget what the comment was, but I remember this card. So it's coming again. And if it's coming again week after week, even if it's 2 weeks ago, that's a really important message. And what I get from this is that we are being helped. And I heard provisions are being supplied. So provisions to me means food and shelter. Except this is emotional food, emotional shelter. We are energetic food and shelter. Let's use that analogy. So we are absolutely being helped. And for most of you, you already know it. What it also tells me is, and this is actually kind of funny, this is an incredible time to go within and practice meditation. You can use a different word for meditation. You can use something else. You can use mindfulness. And that's because this is the greatest time, more than any other time before, where we can make tremendous shifts and changes in a very short time, and those shifts and changes will stick. And that's the idea on whatever you focus on. So if you focus on fear, it's not about denying fear, but if you focus on it too much, that's what will make it stick. Okay, it is absolutely incredible times, incredible times. This is time of deep understanding. How do you understand yourself? How do you understand yourself? What does it mean to understand yourself? What does it mean to have an understanding? Well, for one, in order to have an understanding, there has to be awareness. Awareness is the same as consciousness. So we are being asked to be more aware. To be more aware is to be more conscious. To be more conscious is to also have deeper understanding. This is how we evolve. This is what will help Gaia. This is how we can help her to be aware, to go deep within, and to understand. This is not the time to give up spiritual practice. This is time to implement spiritual practice. If you have not been used to meditating, and as a matter of fact, if the word meditation drives you nuts, you substitute a different word for it. Always remember that contemplation comes from within. When we allow ourselves to go deep within, oftentimes we can resolve many problems. And one way to go within is to follow your feeling. When you follow your feeling, you actually shift your state of awareness. You dip deep into a different state of brain activity because you are focused on something that's internal. Focusing on a feeling, good or bad, remember there's no good or bad feelings, feeling simply is, but focusing on a feeling, particularly one you're trying to get away from, like anger, for example. Believe it or not, intently focusing on it and actually feeling it, not having your stories, what it means, what I'm going to do about it. No, just feeling it will more often than not make the feeling far less stronger, and oftentimes it'll make it go away. Because focusing on that feeling, it's not focusing on negativity, it's focusing on the actual feeling. It's like By focusing on that feeling, you allow the feeling to work through you. So you effectively digest it. And there's a lot of emotions that are rising up right now in everybody. Fear is one of them. But how do you move past the fear? There's only one way. You can't go around it because it'll find you somewhere else. It's to face it. Whatever you are being faced with right now, face it head on. And remember why you are doing this. You are doing this because you wanted to have this experience. You chose to be here. As a soul, you chose to be here. And although many of you will say, what the hell was I thinking choosing this? That's the critical thinking. That's the human mind. Your human mind was not the one that chose to have this experience. Your spirit did. Okay? And take heart in knowing that your soul knows exactly what it's doing. Gaia knows what it's doing. And we have a sacred contract with Gaia. We as soul have a sacred contract with the soul of Gaia. She is giving us something and we're supposed to give her something back, except we have not been doing that. So I, as Joanna, will tell you what I've done always, but I'm paying special attention to it right now. Ever since I was a little girl, whenever there was lights left on and nobody was using the room when the lights was on, it always bugged me. It's like I couldn't understand why would the light be on? It was always just a waste of energy. Ever since I was very young. So somehow I was already connected subconsciously. And then I became aware of it really consciously, the magnitude of what that means, just a few short years ago. So what I am doing right now in order to be more mindful is becoming more efficient in how I use energy. If I am not in a room and there is light on, I'm going to switch it off. If I'm leaving my living room and TV is on, because my husband left it on, I'm going to switch it off. Those are the things that I do in order to minimize the impact on Mother Gaia. Now, just me, single Joanna, doing that may seem like it's nothing, but think about this. And it doesn't matter what it is that you do, as long as it comes from the consciousness of knowing that when we give or we take, we also have to give back. If every single one of us does something with the awareness and the intention to help Mother Gaia, then the whole world will change very fast. So that is what I do. There's also other things that I'm implementing. For one, I am paying attention to being grateful for being able to touch a tree, for being able to live in a space where there is greenery, for being able to see the sun, for being able to see a bird in my backyard chirping away. I am more mindful of being grateful for these little things that we take for granted every single day. But think about this. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have that experience. And how many times have you looked into eyes of a dog or of your animal, of your pet, and you said to yourself, there is something in there. It's not just a cat or it's not just a dog. This being has a personality. And these beings are part of us. We have a responsibility to them, which means we have responsibility to Mother Gaia. I think I want to leave it at that. I don't want to sound like a sermon. And if I do, I'm sorry. And I will say this to you. Although this is not a happy time for many people, for some people it is absolutely devastating. I do not want to for 1 second minimize that, because regardless of whether they chose it or not, it still effing sucks. So let's not waste this opportunity. Let's make it count. Let's make it count. Let's make it matter. That's our responsibility. Mother Gaia thanks you. Thank you so much. I got an idea a few days ago, so let me know if this applies to, or if this interests you. The idea was to create a shorter meditation specifically for helping Mother Gaia, for helping her heal, for healing Mother Gaia. If you are interested in something like that, drop me a note. I've had few hints dropped on me in various ways, through various sources, that this is something that I really need to get on. But just in case, if you would like me to create this for you, this will be a new project for me, I will be more than happy to do that for you. And with that said, of course, if you would like a private session with me, that information is down below. If you would like a healing with me, that information is down below. We need more healing now than ever before. And I wish you a wonderful week of March 30th. The monthlies are coming up, so stay tuned. And I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.